Sorry, my mic was off. Hey guys, the red light is on. It is Tuesday afternoon, which means it's time for our Fight Bananas live show. Normally, Dave would be on my left or right. Unfortunately, we are missing him today. He is having a great week traveling with his family, and they're driving today. So you're stuck with me, but we have lots of great guests for you today. So Cam Bennett, 2-0 pro, fighting for Island Fights this next weekend, will be joining us here in just a few minutes, followed by UFC flyweight world champion Alexandre Pantoja. Super excited to have Pantoja back on the show. Lots of exciting things happening in that flyweight division right now. And then, as always, at 2 p.m., it will be Savage time with Jillian the Savage Robertson. And then I think Grant is going to come back and join me, and we're going to do a little banana blitz for you guys, even though we don't have Dave today. So we thanks for joining, Darnell. The red light is on, but we're here. We're gonna get into UFC 318 from last week. Just break down. I know we talked a lot about Dustin on Sunday because obviously this weekend was Dustin Poirier's moment. Even losing the fight to Max Holloway, I feel like the weekend was for Dustin. The moment was for Dustin, and just cemented his legacy, going out in very Dustin fashion, having such a great final fight and final moment there in New Orleans with his home crowd. So we definitely talked a lot about that on Sunday, but we'll get into it a little bit today as well. And then we will talk about this weekend's upcoming card in Abu Dhabi, which is a great fight night card. If you guys haven't taken a look at this yet, some really good fights on the prelims. I think this is a really exciting main event too. I really like RDR. I'm very interested to see where he goes in this division. So we'll get into all of that. But yeah, let's just recapping UFC 318 from last weekend. We had some really awesome moments on the prelims too that we didn't even really get into on Sunday. So I'm just going to pull the card up. But all right, definitely let me know what fights you guys loved from last weekend. I felt like this was an A+ pay-per-view card. I loved every fight on the prelims. The heavyweight fight was exciting. The women's flyweight fight was exciting. I feel like the prelims almost outshined the main card a little bit, other than, of course, this huge moment with Dustin and Max Holloway. But just going down through the prelims, you had Carly Judice opening up, home state girl. I believe she's from Lafayette as well as Dustin is. But beautiful performance. I really, really like her striking. It's a fight style that I myself will never utilize, and is not something that plays to my strengths, but is something that is so exciting for me to watch. And I really enjoy watching her striking. Even when she first got into the UFC, I know she had a couple losses when she first got in, but you could just see the tenacity and the technique of her striking. And while she is a little bit green, I think she only has 6 professional fights now. I'm just really impressed with her willingness to fight, her willingness to throw on the feet. And I feel like the range control was shown so well in this fight. She was so calculated, and yes, as usual, so crispy. So I really, really enjoyed watching her. And then we had two armbar finishes on the prelims as well. Ryan Spann is this heavy dark horse at heavyweight that we haven't seen him. He's only had 2 fights now, I think, at heavyweight. And I like this move for him. I think there's not a lot of people that are used to his style at heavyweight. So I'm very interested to see where that goes. And then Islam Dulatov with a huge knockout as well over Adam Fugit. Just a lot of really exciting prospects, I think, on these prelims. Our first guest is actually a little bit early, and I do not want to keep him waiting. So we will come back to UFC 318 after we chat with Cam Bennett. He is fighting this coming weekend on Island Fights. Dave will be there as well, so let's bring him on. Hey Cam, what's up, man?
What's up? How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing well. Excited to be here.
Absolutely. I'm sorry my intros are not as good as Dave's.
That's fine.
Super pumped to have you, man, and get to chat with you. Obviously, like, I think the last time we talked, was right before your last amateur fight, right?
I think so. It was either that or my pro debut, right before my pro debut, I think.
Yeah.
So it's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while. So just tell me a little bit about this transition. I know you've had have all of your fights been on Island Fights? So you had a few of your amateur fights on some other shows as well, correct?
Yes, I had a couple fights, different organizations. I mean, my last pro fight was at Empire, which those guys know the Island Fights guys pretty close. So I think Dean and them kind of helped with getting me on there.
Nice.
Uh, but I'm glad to be back with Island Fights, especially in a venue like the Hard Rock. Kind of feels like it's meant for me. So
Yeah.
glad to be back.
Absolutely. Island Fights always puts on an amazing show. I feel like just being there, watching these amateurs fight at venues like Island Fights has, and just on these cards that Island Fights puts on makes me a little jealous because there were definitely some pretty sketchy venues in my amateur career. But they really do put on a great show. Just talk to us about this transition from having so much of your amateur career with Island Fights and moving now onto their pro cards. How does it feel different, or do you feel like it was a very easy transition since you've been part of this organization for so long?
Um, I would say it was almost no different for me personally. I mean, Island Fights kind of prepares you for that bigger stage already. My debut as an amateur was in the Bay Center. So you get that experience right from the jump. So you get used to those lights, the big screens, all that stuff. That kind of feels like, I mean, they do it for the professionals, and you're getting it as an amateur. You're not fighting in a back alley or in the Burger King parking lot, but you're fighting on those stages that get you ready for the UFC and those bright lights. Like, if you're trying to jump up into higher promotions, PFL, all that stuff, you're not like shell shocked, I think, as much. I think the biggest difference, and I said this before my pro debut, was just the reaction from everybody else. Nothing changes from me. Still the same hardworking kid that's just trying to win the next fight and move forward. Nothing's changed in my work ethic. Nothing's changed in my approach, except maybe I think I work harder each and every time and find another degree of pushing it that you didn't know you had before. But the mindset, the mentality, the thought process that, hey, I'm just Cam Bennett, is still the same. But I can definitely tell around me, people have definitely picked up on, you're not just a 1-0 pro. You're looking to hopefully be 3-0 by the end of this weekend, and looking to wrap up another finish. So you're getting closer and closer to that shot at the show that you want.
Absolutely. And you're staying so active too. Like your last fight was what, just 2 months ago, right?
Yeah, I fought April 11th in Mandeville, and then I got the opportunity to grapple freaking TJ Brown from the ex UFC
Yeah.
fighter. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, awesome opportunity. I mean, that was like a win-win situation for me. As long as I don't go out there and get buzzsawed in like a minute and a half, like that's a good experience for me. I mean, he's 10 years older, he's a black belt, and he's a legit black belt.
experience too.
A
Yeah.
lot of experience, UFC submissions. Not everybody in the UFC got submissions and also is a black belt. So, if I can hang with him, give him problems in certain areas, it's just a matter of time before I'm up in the show giving people there a real problem. So it was an awesome experience, and now I'm back, another fight, ready to get busy.
No, I love to see it. I love to see young guys being able to be so active. I think sometimes it's difficult on the regional scene, and this is something I love. I love how Island Fights takes care of just this huge group of prospects in the area and make sure that they can stay active and that they can develop their careers properly, because I do think regional MMA as a whole has kind of died off in the last like 5 to 10 years. We really aren't seeing as many regional shows or as many pockets of fighters in different areas. So it's great to see. And I feel like this is this next fight's a great opportunity for you to show that even more. Your last opponent, 1-2, 3 professional fights, a lot closer to your record at 1-0. Now making this jump to fighting a guy like Charles Bennett. I know he doesn't have the best record, but the dude has over 70 professional fights. That is so much cage time, so much experience. How do you feel just preparing for a totally different kind and level of opponent?
Yeah, fighting my third cousin twice removed. Um, I mean, it's no big thing. Yeah, I think a lot of people see the poster and see the wacky things he does, see the things he posts on Facebook, the way he acts, and it's so easy for a fighter and just for somebody that doesn't know to look at him and go, "Oh, yeah, Cam's just gonna obliterate him." Like, whatever, like, look past him. And as I was saying on an interview like a week ago, he's still got 31 pro wins.
That's a
That's
lot.
that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot more than the vast majority. I mean, he's been in there with people like Uriah Faber. I mean, you fought in Pride. Like, that's crazy. So he doesn't have the nerves of stepping in a ring. Like, it's no big thing to him. You fought 70 times. Like, what is it to step in there and do it again?
Right.
But on the other hand, I respect it, and it's awesome to get the opportunity against a legend, but you got to have a little bit of respect, but you got to also go out there and show what you're about. Everybody gets so caught up into the show. I think I've watched a lot of pros fight him and veterans, and I think they get caught up either kind of selling the fight or just get caught up with the fact that it's Charles. It's Charles Bennett. Everybody's like, whoa. And they kind of just stand there with him. They just like get caught in mirroring him, not moving, not doing what they usually do. And that's not me. I mean, I'm gonna respect him, but there's a new era, there's a new time, and it's my time. There's a new Bennett.
I love that. There's a new Bennett. And I think you speak really, really intelligently about this fight. I agree. A guy like Charles Bennett he's a very unusual fighter. He does a lot of he does things wrong that work. He does things you shouldn't do. He does things that you just don't expect him to do. So what is it like preparing for that style specifically? And like who's been helping you out and what have you kind of seen in his game that you need to be prepared for?
I mean, I had Trey come at me like a wild man, so that was funny. He's a pretty good Charles Bennett. I mean, he's bigger and better grappler. But I think the biggest thing is be smart. No accidents. We talk about no accidents. It sucks to be the better fighter and then you get caught because of an accident because your hand placement wasn't correct or anything like that. And that's what Charles is going to do is throw loopy shots, big overhand, big uppercut. He's going to try and catch me in those transitions if I'm sloppy. So, be disciplined, be sound. And I think the fluidity that I want to show is going to kind of give him problems. And the grappling advantage is in my ballpark if I want it there. If I want it there, I'm going to take him down. I mean, he's not going to stop me. He can try. And I'm just going to do what I want to do. I think this fight's more so about me showing my full package of what I have. I've shown fights where, like this last fight that I had, I mean, I took the guy down like 4 or 5 times, melted him. You could just see the will of that fighter leave and not want to be there anymore. And the submission came like nothing. You've seen me in the clinch just cause damage in my first pro fight. I've shown that I've got distance, but it's time to marry everything and show that I have the full package. And this is kind of like my coming out party to do that.
Yeah, I love it. I think you've got a good mindset going into this against a guy like Charles. So you said that you're the true Bennett. You're the new Bennett. Charles is known for his post-fight celebrations. You always get a crazy flip off the ring or anything like that. Can we expect a a big Cam Bennett celebration?
No, you always think about celebrations, and then like I just get hit with so much adrenaline that it just goes out the window. There's no chance of me doing a backflip because I feel like I'd actually injure myself. That'd be the last fight you ever saw me in, is I broke my neck because I did a backflip, or attempted one. So who knows what's gonna happen? I really want to just go in there and show like it's no big thing. He's a legend in the sport. I respect him a ton. I respect his team. Um, and it's awesome. Like it's an awesome opportunity. I'm just very grateful to Charles for giving me the opportunity. But I want to go in there and handle business and act like you've been there, because this is not, I say this every fight, this is not the pinnacle. This is not my pinnacle. The pinnacle of my career is not going to be the Battle of the Bennett's at Island Fights 90. It's not going to be the next fight. It's going to be me getting into the UFC and me making that path towards a championship or whatever my career holds. But 3-0 is not the pinnacle. And fighters just get wrapped up in that and they get complacent. And then that's when they get absolutely annihilated the next time. So I'm not satisfied. I'm just going to be hungry afterwards. So that's kind of the goal, is to go in there, handle business, act like you've been there, say your words, move on to the next one.
You got a hater in the comment section, Jonathan.
I've seen this guy lift before.
I think you might have to fight twice this weekend.
I'll put Jonathan in a headlock.
After you beat up Charles, you might have to go after John.
The walls of Jericho for Jonathan.
All jokes. Jonathan, I'm sure will be at Island Fights in person next weekend, doing all the post-fight interviews and crushing it as per usual.
Sure.
Speaking of that, the team behind Island Fights, Dave sent me a picture of the two of you.
Yeah, look at there.
So, tell me about that experience. Was that your first time on the mic?
Yes, it was. It was my first time ever commentating. And it was awesome. I mean, I've been like constantly badgering them over this, especially now that I'm on the pro scene. If there's a full amateur card, you might as well have a local guy who knows a lot of these fighters, trains with some of them, be on the mic. I mean, I know I'm not that good looking, but you don't have to see my face. You can just hear my voice talk about the fights. But it was a little like nerve-wracking at first. And then once you kind of get in the flow of things, breaking down a fight, something that I just love to do anyways. So it was awesome to be able to get that opportunity.
No, I definitely would love to commentate at some point too. I feel like this is a great opportunity for a lot of fighters that not a lot of fighters necessarily take advantage of. Is getting into commentary and getting into the media side of things. So we definitely, hopefully, we'll get to see you. We'll get to see you again on the mic very soon, hopefully, for one of these cards. But before we let you go, we definitely have to go back. I know you love to watch fights. I'm sure you were watching Dustin Poirier's Last Dance, the whole moment that was UFC 318 last weekend. Just your impressions of this final fight for Dustin Poirier, how Max Holloway looked, what's next for Max. Give us the Cam Bennett rundown.
I think for starters, I'll cover Max and then I'll say Dustin. For Max, I mean, my goodness, he's a scary man at 155. And he looked big. Yeah. He looked big, but the thing is, I think he's only going to get bigger. At 155, he's going to continue to fill in. And that was the thing I was saying going into this fight, that I think was the biggest difference maker is the first two times. I mean, obviously the first fight was at 45, second fight, at 55, but Max had full intention of going back down to 145. Now Max is done with 145. So that's a scary problem to have. And I think I like to just call out of Ilya. But I think his next fight's probably, if I had to guess, Charles Oliveira. I think that would be the next move for Max Holloway. They kind of talked about it. They have passed because Ilya, I think you're kind of sitting there waiting to see if, I know Dana mentioned something about if Islam wins at 70, maybe you see a super fight there and stuff like that. And also, I just think that Max maybe needs one or two more before he gets a shot at Ilya again, because the way Ilya won was kind of I would say Charles Oliveira too is the next one.
Yeah.
And then because Arman, you're sitting there, I don't know who you give Arman if you don't give him a title shot. I really don't know. So I would say Max. Max looked great. He looked fast, big. And I mean, I'm a Max super fan, so I'm glad to see him win. But Dustin Poirier, I guess Saturday night's where all real men cried. It's like, you watch this guy. I mean, we're entering a time where, for me, I'm watching a lot of guys that I grew up watching start to retire. And it's tough to see that, just to experience that, especially with somebody with Dustin. He's such a role model, I think, for all fighters. I think if you need somebody to look towards, he's one of them. That is the best retirement I've ever seen in the UFC and MMA. MMA is an unforgiving sport, especially for retiring fighters. I mean, we see so many fighters get fed to hungry guys, and they're just kind of like stepping stones for the next generation. But to watch Dustin Poirier go out on his terms, even though he I think he has a couple of fights left in him, but to go out on his terms, just to be a dad, to do other things in life is just amazing. And it shows, I thought the fight really was a summation of his career. I was talking to my dad about it because we watched it at the house. And it was just one of those things where, there was multiple times he got knocked down in the fight. He got knocked down in his career multiple times, but he battled back, fought and scrapped tooth and nail to get back to, into the fight. And potentially he thought it was 2-2 going into that fifth. And I thought it was close. I mean, I would have had it 48-47. I didn't think it was 49-46, but that's just my opinion. I thought it was a little closer.
How did you score the second round? Because that, I think, is the most difficult round to score by far.
I think I had it Max just because it was I think I was leaning Max, but also you could flip a coin. I mean, it's one of those rounds where it's like, okay, you both got dropped. Like, what do you?
I think the argument is maybe Max was saved by the bell while Dustin was able to recover. You kind of get like the recency bias of the round, whoever wins the last part of the round. But I don't disagree with your logic of giving it to Max either.
Yeah, I would 1,000. That's where I get caught up. Is like, yeah, but Dustin's on the guillotine. Jump in the gilly. Don't be silly.
Oh my God, we were freaking out. I was like, this is how it's supposed to end.
Yeah, I saw he had made a comment, and I thought it was hilarious. And if Dustin sees this, like, hey, Dustin Poirier, huge fan. But I saw he said something about he'd put a bronze statue of his jumping a guillotine in his front yard. I think he could still do that, but be awesome for the neighbors.
The crazy thing is I'm pretty sure he gets it in the gym all the time. Like, I've heard guys talk about it, and he like gets it in the gym all the time. Just never quite got it in the cage.
You just can never get the cherry on top and get in the actual fight. I feel like fighters all have that kind of that move, I feel like, we got Colin Goodman at our gym. He's constantly throwing wheel kicks, but he'll throw the wheel kick in the fight and then fall on his face every time. That's just the MO now. Is like Colin's going to throw a wheel kick and then fall over.
Fighting's just different. I don't know what it is. There's like, it's so crazy. You'll see guys that are just like world champion level fighters in the room that never can put it together in the cage. And then you'll see guys that struggle in the room, have fantastic performances, which obviously I'd rather be that guy. But it's such a crazy sport, but that's why it's the best sport in the world, man.
Exactly.
One last one for you before we let you go. I've kept you for about 15 minutes now. So
good.
Coming up this weekend, we talked about UFC 318. Coming up this weekend, we have what I am looking at as one of the best fight night cards of the year, I think, looking at Abu Dhabi and this main event between Robert Whittaker and RDR, who I think is a really interesting prospect in this division. Do you have an opinion on this fight? Robert Whittaker is beloved by all, of course, and has shown that he's still got it. Like, I don't think he's making another run for the title, in my opinion, but I definitely think he's got some great performances left in him. What are your thoughts on this fight?
I think, first off, I thought when they matched up Bo and DeRitter, I didn't know if that was like the best thing for like that fight, because DeRitter is like, I think, underrated. I think partially he's underrated in a sense, like, because nobody, the UFC is the UFC. So, you get those questions. Oh, you train UFC. People think the UFC is like the sport. No, there's other organizations, the sports MMA, blah, blah. You got to explain all that. I mean, he's a legit guy. I think, he's got one loss on his career, like, as a pro?
I'm going to pull up his record.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's like 20-1 or something crazy. And I was like, I saw the matchup. I was like, man, that's a big jump from Paul Craig because he was also a champ and won. Like,
20-2.
That's a huge jump. And his jiu-jitsu style is tricky. But I just don't know if he's going to be able to take down Robert. I don't know. Robert just coming off of that fight with Hamza. I mean, DeRitter is not
and
going
Costa.
to.
He looked great.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, DeRitter's not going to shoot as aggressively as Hamza. Like, that's two different styles of grappling that you're dealing with. Is DeRitter's biggest problem is, can he get Whittaker to the ground? And I just don't know if he's going to be able to do that. I mean, Whittaker's now having another fight where the main point is control the distance. Hamzat's sprinting at you. Like, he's sprinting at you. DeRitter's going to like try and get close, tied up, all those things. And I just think it'll probably stay on the feet more than likely. And I think Whittaker will have the advantage there. I think I would lean Bobby Knuckles.
Love it. Love it. Man, you're fighting this weekend. Do you have anything else to let the people know that they need to come out to Biloxi, Mississippi at the Hard Rock Hotel? Like, please promote the event. Tell everybody where they need to be.
Yeah, I mean, the UFC is going on in Abu Dhabi, but the real show's on Friday night. What better venue? The Hard Rock Casino. And what better fights than Island Fights? Main event is phenomenal. Team Remedy's got 3 fighters, and we plan on sweeping it. We're all going to stay undefeated as well. John, Gunther, and Kayla. We're here to make a name for ourselves. We're here to put Remedy on the map. And we're here to get to the UFC. It's not just we're going to be regional superstars. We're about scrapping, and that's what's going to happen on Friday night. So, as always, I plan on putting on a show. You're either going to see a finish or just the most exciting fight that you've ever seen in your entire life. I'm looking to go 3-0, looking for another finish. All respect to Charles, but, I got to do what I got to do. And we can catch a Mountain Dew afterwards.
Love to hear it. So the real Bennett here, Cam Bennett, this weekend, Biloxi, Mississippi at the Hard Rock, guys. Definitely tune in. Island Fights always puts on a phenomenal show from the first amateur fight all the way to the main event. So thank you so much for your time, Cam. Best of luck to you. I'm really looking forward to watching you, man.
Thank you. Y'all tune in on Friday, the real main event.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, man.
Thank you.
All right. Cam Bennett is going to be fighting this weekend, guys. Make sure you check out Island Fight Stream. I am not blowing smoke, guys. They really do put on a absolutely fantastic regional event. So don't miss it. Let's get back into UFC 318 because we were talking about it a little bit before Cam came on. While we wait for Pantoja to join us, and then yeah, we'll chat with Pantoja. Super excited to get to talk with him. I think we're all really excited about the idea of him fighting Joshua Van. But going through these prelims, man, we talked about Crispy Carly, looked absolutely fantastic. Bruno Ferreira, I know his opponent was a short notice replacement, Jackson McVeigh, but pretty highly touted prospect, 6-0 on the regional scene. And then you have Ryan Spann, absolutely just steamrolling through Lucas Bresky. Jimmy Crute looked fantastic against Marcin Prachnio. He's a guy I feel like everybody kind of forgot about. Jimmy Crute was really, I know he got injured when he was fighting Anthony Smith. Then he was kind of inactive for a while. We just didn't really see him. And I think he kind of halfway retired for a bit and then came back. And so really excited to see him back on the scene. I think 205 has maybe gotten a little bit stale. So I really am interested to see him come back and for us to see more of that moving forward. Obviously, we talked about Islam Dulatov, big knockout. Lots of, and we'll get into more after we chat with Pantoja as well. As soon as he's not quite ready, we'll give him one sec to get his stream going, and then we'll pull him up. But maybe. All right. Well, without further ado, let's pull him up here. UFC flyweight world champion, coming off a huge win, finishing a guy that he's beaten before, Kai Kara France. Let's bring him on. What's up, man? How are you?
What's up, Betty? All good, all good. Like you see, with 5 belts here in my wall.
It
Very
looks pretty
good, very happy. Yeah, I already see you in the gym, very motivation to keep you ground. And yeah, I'm ready to fight again. I'm good.
I think this next fight is what everybody has kind of been waiting for. I feel like we've kind of expected you to do what you've done. You've beaten a lot of the same guys more than once. And I think this just having a fresh face in contention for the title just makes the fans so excited. Are you more excited to fight a guy like Joshua Van who you haven't fought before instead of somebody that you've already beaten?
Definitely, not just because he's not someone new, but he's someone young, like that's what make him a lot motivation. And I see this guy fight before, and that's so crazy because I see when he fight with the Japanese Ray something, I forget his
Oh,
last name. Yeah,
Racer.
he trained in the gym. You remember him? Like he trained a couple months in the gym. Very good grappler. And I see Josh Ivan defense all takedowns. That's something like a huge. And then he fight with Bruno Bulldog, training in the gym too, and complete domination. And then in that fight, I think like this guy's good. That's good because he's in number 15. I don't want to think about him right now, like that's so crazy. That's something happened with when I fight with the Aircheck. Aircheck just knocked my match out. And I said, man, this guy is big for flyweight division. Maybe he go to the bantamweight. He's 2-4 from the belt, and then in the next moment he fights with me. And now same happened to Josh Van. I talk about that he got the gold ticket from the Willy Wonka chocolate fabric, because when Manel Cap is out, he say, "Hey, I'm here," and though like a one month short notes, he go to the fight to Brandon Rival and beat the number one. But Ellie, I'm super excited with that fight, but I think Rival make a lot of mistakes in that fight. And that's something very good to see, when you have someone like a fresh, like a Joshua, don't have a lot of fights, you don't can like see a lot of things about him. But in that fight with the rival, I see some like a some spot I can take, advantage, and yeah, he fight with the number one contender and beat him, and get his position. He got the another gold ticket. He come fight with for the UFC belt with the 23 years. I tell before when I have 23, I'm in my hometown working the restaurants. That's so crazy. And that me make it so motivational. The how this guy fighting, uh, and of course about the age, so young. And I don't know if you know, but I'm loving Rocky movies. And maybe it's the Rocky Five, I think, when Rocky's already retired and they have some young champion win the belt, and then Rocky back to fight with that guy. I like that situations. I like the hype this fight's having. I like all the attention people give to Josh Sivan. But like me, I'm not afraid of anyone. I train very hard every day, and I'm 35 right now, and I can say maybe it's not my prime yet. I'm still training, I'm still learning. But my mind is so strong right now. And now I know specific situations to how to be better. When I have 23, I haven't imagined about that, but like when I have 35 right now, be part of the America top team. That's so amazing. Be part of the America top team with amazing peoples there. Amazing fighters. Uh, of course, Kayla Harrison's a beast. So much incredible training in the same gym. Kyoji Gucci, you know about him. Kyoji is all the time is a hard worker, and that's making everybody hard to work too. And there is no just big stars. You have like a guys like a Vitor Diaz. People don't know what that guy, but of course you know about him. He's a killer. And he come to training very hard. One of more trainers in the gym, and go working in somewhere else. And back to the gym training again. That's the spirit in the gym. You can smell that when you go to the ATT. It's not bad smell. It's a champion smell. Like you go to the gym, you feel something different.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's a crazy, crazy room to be in. And like you said, there's guys I think people don't even know about that are like just world class in the gym. I think Sal is another guy I've seen you training with for a long time who people just don't know about him, but he's fantastic. I think Victor's got some of the best jujitsu in the whole room, and people just don't know him. So it's crazy. It's crazy being in a gym like that. And obviously you've been there so long. When exactly did you start training at ATT? Do you remember how old you were?
Oh yeah. February 2018, when I lose to Dustin Ortiz in Boston. I'm traveled to from Brazil to Boston just to make the fight week, and then I lose. And then in the same time, I talk with Parrumpa. Hey, Parrumpa, I want to follow you to America Top Team, and I did it back to Brazil. I'm staying in Boston for 2 weeks, and then I travel to Florida,
Oh wow.
and not back to Brazil. Still I call my wife. Hey, I'm gonna stay in America. I'm gonna stay in US because that's the best decision. We need to found a good camp, a good place to stay, and she agreed, with everything. And then my bad decision. I say my position right now is about my choices I make in the past. My future is about my choices in the past, and I love everything I choose. I choose to come to America Top Team to follow Parropinha. Coach Macarrão, Luciano Pereira. We have a very good conditional training. Is Everton Oliveira and Anderson França come to like to improve my striking, and I think everybody can watch that in my last two fights. How much I'm improved, and my last two fights I fight with the good strikings, and in my eyes I think I'm better in striking. And of course my grappler everybody knows so good so far, but I like to improve my striking too.
Absolutely. And like you said, you may be 35, but I think everybody is seeing you improve every single time you fight. And it's just to finish a guy that you fought before. And I know it was on the Ultimate Fighter. Did it go more than the 2 rounds? I don't remember that fight with Kai. Was
Just
it
2 rounds. Yeah, if you close fight, you go to the third round, but it's
right?
just 2 rounds. Yeah.
You were up to going into the third. So like just feeling did you feel Did he feel the same? Did he feel different? I know it had been almost 10 years since you guys last fought, right? It's been a while.
Yeah, I think in his mind he gonna think maybe he think when he lose to me is a mistake, is something like that. But I think the same, I want to prove myself I can be that guy. But I think Ali, I think this is good. You are fighter, and for everybody is a fighter. That's some good advice I give to everybody. Like fear is something make your motivation. You can bring it, make that motivation, or you can like block yourself. And I put everything to push me. All the time I think maybe the Kai Kara France is the first guy gonna knock me down. And that's me making a lot of motivation. And then I train very hard, make everything possible to that moment. And you know I think I make kind of friends. I not do that, but like when someone come fight for the belt, he live in his prime. If you fight for UFC belt, you live your prime. And I know because I got this position before when I fight with Breno Moreno. When I fight Breno Moreno, I put everything in the octagon. I fight for my life. And when I fight with someone, now I have this position. I'm the champion of the world. People's come to take my belt. I know the guy coming with everything, put it in the octagon. And one more time, this make me motivation. But in the same time, you feel fear. You don't want to lose. And something I think all the time is like, if I train so hard for get something, like if I put all my life in that position. I'm not gonna be afraid of the success. Because sometimes you have everything, but you still think in your mind you're gonna lose. And then in the exact moment you need to think about that. If I did everything to win this belt, I'm not gonna lose, and I'm not gonna afraid of the success. Because sometimes your mind try to block you with that. But like not right now. And because that, I think I still put belts in my wall. You hear my landscape here?
Oh
No,
no, we
you good? Okay, that's our part. That's so good. He's like a clean there. But yeah, I'm sure I talk about that, and then that's me make motivation, of course. And I talked that before. Like I see myself like a challenger. I have this position right now. For I be the champion of the world. I just need one more fight. I think about that all the time. I'm the challenger here. I know I have the possible to win this belt. I'm not more champion of the world. I back to the gym. You see me there, and then Kyoji kick my ass. I say, hey, you're not my champion of the world, Pantoja. You need to train to get this position again. I not can be the champion of the world for like every days in my life. And that's so good to think about that. Like because you wake up, you think you're the champion of the world, yeah, the world is yours, and something like that. And then Gabby's my wife say, hey, shut your mouth, clean that, do it that, like. And then you realize you're not can be the champion of the world all the time. It's not good for you. It's not good for me. I
don't let
need
it your head. Yeah.
no, I need to put these belts in the wall, and then still humble. Still training, like I follow my dream, follow what I want. And a lot of people talk with me about that. Like, why you don't make some trash talking? Why you don't talk what you think? But because words break you. Like in my world, in my universe, if I try to say something like that, God gonna show me the inverse. Like no, you're wrong. Shut your mouth. In my universe.
That Holy Spirit's gonna come convict.
Yeah, no, no, in my universe, if I say something like that, I'm gonna break myself, my soul. I'm gonna sell my soul, and I'm sorry, Dana White. I'm not gonna sell my soul. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do that deal. I believe in myself. I believe in everything. But before I try to be a social media guy, influencer guy, something like that, something like a 1 million views. I'm a fighter. I'm fighting all my life. I not can be something different of that. I'm a fighter. You see me in the gym all the time, very focused. Of course, I play with my teammate and everything, but like I know what I want. I want to be the best fighter of the world.
Love it, man. I like looking at those belts behind you. You're talking about being 35. You still feel like you're getting better. You still feel young. How how big is the goal to break Demetrius Johnson's title
Oh,
record? How is that at the front of your mind just all the time?
okay. Maybe it's my trash talk. Maybe now my universe is gonna brawl, bro. No, no, because that's why people's want to hear, Ali. Like people's want to hear about that. Hey, the Demetrius Johnson are gonna break his record right now. You can take this cut, okay? I'm gonna take his numbers right now. Demetrius Johnson, don't try to come back, because if you come back, you're gonna make a dirty, put some dirty in your legacy. Don't come back. I'm gonna make your every record Demetri Johnson have, I'm gonna break. That's Alexander the Cannibal Pantoja here, and I'm ready to do that. That's what everybody expect to say. But Ali, I don't care about the records. I don't care about the Demetri Johnson numbers. I care about my numbers. I care about my life. Dimitri Johnson is someone opening the doors for us, like something like he before he needed fighting the bantamweight. I'm needed fighting bantamweight couple fights too, because we don't have a flyweight division yet. It's so hard, and then he opened the way, for everybody, and the fight's so good, his style, and everybody's talking about the best AQ or AQ fighter, yeah, something like that. AQ, the guy is very intelligent to the
Fight IQ, yeah.
IQ, yeah, IQ, sorry,
No, you're
the
good.
best IQ to fight. Yeah, because he fight in the flyweight. When you fight in the some division like that, with the guys have amazing cardio, amazing strike, amazing grappling, amazing piece, you need to fucking do something different. You need a very good IQ to fight. To how to break these guys. And he showed that GOAT. 11 title defense. Uh, unstoppable, unbreakable, and blah, blah, blah. But like a lot of respect, show to high level this flyweight division. People think, Demetrius Johnson so far about the another fighters, but not like it's not just about that. Now we have so many good fighters in the flyweight division. You have so many good names, very different, very different years. Because before Demetrius Johnson, of course, very good, but like he have like a 10 competitive fights in that whole division. Now you have like a 15 guys, very good so far. We have Manel Cap. He lost. Asu gonna fight right now in Abu Dhabi. Kyoji Gucci coming. You know, and that's so good. Now Josh Ivan, super excited fight. And I'm super ready. I can say I can fight next month. If UFC want I'm fight, I'm super, and that's what I want. I want to keep active. And I think that's some movement every fighter want to do right now. Everybody want to be more active. So,
With that being said, you brought up Manel Kape. I definitely want to know your thoughts. Do you expect him to stay at flyweight? He seems to have issues making the weight. He seems to have issues staying healthy, which also could be the weight cut could be contributing to that as well. If you're cutting too much weight, it's easier to be injured. Do you expect to see him stay at flyweight?
I think in the flyweight right now, you have like maybe in the bantamweight is a better way to go right now. Because in flyweight you have a solid champion there. And a lot of course, I beat everybody in the division, and I think UFC want a new names. Manel Kape already beat him. It's a very tough fight. Manel Kape is very good fighter. Maybe he think right now is maybe it's better he fight with the broke feet with the rival, because he lose the chance.
Yeah.
And LA, I fight with my ACL. I don't have ACL when I fight with the rival. If I'm not agree with that the fight, and maybe I pull out. I'm not with this belt right now. But sometimes in your life you need to go, just need to go. Like doesn't matter the decisions. you need to go. But in that time, when I fight to Rival, I really need that money, and money make you a motivation too.
That's true.
But what is what it is, like every time that I say that God decision, God gives me everything. God gives me this ACL to make me motivation. Like after I beat Rival, the guy say you're gonna fight for with Moreno for the belt. And then I need to say no because I need to make my surgery. And then I think, man, I need to say no to the UFC belt. And I have injury right now. I need like a 6 month of recovery. And then I think that's about the God talked to me, hey, if you want this belt, you need to prove. Come on, show me. And then I make all my therapy. And when I back to the fight 9 months after my surgery, I finish Alex Paris with 90 seconds. That's me make a lot of motivation for that fight with the Rival or with the Moreno. And then 2 years, uh, I'm still with this belt, very happy with everything I conquer right now, everything to I'm very happy to go to the America Top Team and get all the hugs from my teammates. Good example about everything. I'm so happy to do that. I like to to go to the best gym of the world and feel I'm the one of the best of the gym. I'm like an example to everybody. Training very hard, like a humble, respect everyone, training with everybody, respect your teammates. You know myself. I train with a lot of girls to help everybody in the gym. About the respect. About respect, like to try to help your teammates do everything it's possible. And we have 2 belts UFC in the gym. Maybe it's the only gym who have 2 belts right now in the UFC.
I think so. Yeah, pretty sure. And we got one. Kayla's I think the only American champ right now.
That's it. That's it. And that's a perfect for America Top Team. You know, America Team is a fundat. I don't know. Is it fundat say that? Is a
What is it?
is like a America Top Team is some of course Don Lambert, American guy, with Brazilian guys make America Top Team. Like you have a perfect America example is Kayla Harrison, 2 times Olympic champion. You know, and then you have Pantoja, the Brazilian represent, and I'm so happy to this moment right now. You have in the gym, and that's it. We have so many belts to take.
Absolutely. Last question for you. I definitely want to get your input. Um, we obviously last weekend UFC 318 was this huge moment for Dustin Poirier, who's been in the gym longer than almost
That's
any.
so amazing, yeah.
And just your thoughts on the fight, the moment, what you see happening next for Max, and your thoughts on everything that went down over the weekend.
We see Dustin training so hard for that fight. Yeah, we see all the training camp. Dustin finish the training, go run in the streets. I think he got that fight. But it's all God decision. He beat Max Holloway 2 times, and then in the last dance he lost. That's about MMA. It's not like some Disney movie. The life disease. And I really think Dustin got that. But like a amazing fight, amazing see Max Holloway, 33 years, doing performance like that. So solid. I see his numbers in the UFC. Everybody he's fighting. Man, that's so crazy. I think he have more than 30 fights in UFC, something crazy like that, and have just 33. And yeah, who don't want to see he in Tupuria again. Uh
Is that your
but yeah,
pick for what happens next for Max?
yeah, that's so hard, because everybody wants to see the like new challenges. Well, I think the tough opponent for Ilya, of course, is Arman. We see him in the gym. He trained very hard. Maybe another belt for America Top Team. And Armand's so big, so competitive. But yeah, maybe it's not time to the match. It's not another rematch. I think nobody wants to see that right now. The guys put bad penalty. That's the business. I don't know, but I think the right thing to do is Armand fight next with Topuria, and maybe Max Holloway with Justin Gay to see who's the next for the belt.
Yeah, Gaethje. I feel like Gaethje is a guy that's not really been in the conversation too much. I'm not sure what they're planning to do with him. At first, we thought they were doing him in Patty, but I don't know if that's happening. But yeah, I feel like he's a guy we haven't really talked about. It is Pantoja, SG. We're very happy to have him. But I want to let you go. Thank you for giving us so much of your time. We are really happy for
whatever you want. I'm here.
We really appreciate it, man. Anything else you want to say before you hop off?
Just say thank you to you. Thank you to everybody watching us right now, every fans. Ali do a super good job. He have a best spot in the America top team. He can bring everybody the guys want, you know, and that's so amazing. Every time you need, call me, and then I see you in the gym.
Absolutely, man. We love having you. Thank you so much.
Send a hi to Dawson. See you in the gym, guys.
Will do.
Bye.
See you later. All right, Pantoja. So no, they do get a new belt. Did you see the wall? Is wall soon is going to look as full as Demetrius Johnson's. So he's got all the belts on the wall. I agree. We need more viewers. So please tell your friends. I agree. There should be way more people watching Fight Bananas every single week. Send the stream to your friends, guys. Sub the YouTube channel. Please, please, please. If you sub the YouTube channel and shoot us a DM on Instagram or Facebook or anywhere you can find us, we will send you a free UFC trading card. So do that. Dude, we're so blessed to train here in Florida at American Top Team. Grant and I are. We love being in the gym. It is amazing to be around people like Kayla Harrison, like Alexandre Pantoja every day in the gym. They're just the best freaking people. Talking about another champ, hopefully soon to be a UFC champ. Guys, it's almost 2:00, so we'll just go ahead and bring her on. It's Savage time, as per usual. What's up, Jillian? How you doing?
What's up? How are you today?
I'm good. I'm trying to channel my inner Dave when I introduce people, and it's just not the same. I'm just not Dave.
Yeah, no, he's got something special when it comes to those intros.
Some of them are a little off the wall, but they always get the job done.
They always hit.
What is new this week in the world of Jillian Robertson?
I wish I could tell you something. I don't have anything. I wish I had fight news. That's all. Still just sitting here waiting. I've gotten a possible date, no opponent's name. They've thrown that they're looking for me on a certain date. So fingers crossed that everything comes through on that. But so I'm just sitting here waiting. A lot of waiting.
I feel that. I'm waiting. Grant's waiting. You're waiting. We're all waiting. They've offered Grant dates too, but no people. So that seems to be, don't feel bad. I think it's everybody right now. There's actually not a single, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm quite sure that there is not a single booked fight in the top 15 for 155.
Oh yeah, I saw that a meme about that the other day.
Doesn't have an opponent. Nobody has opponents.
The most stacked division in the UFC for men, and nobody's matched in the top 15. What are we doing here?
Well, that begs the question too. Why can't Grant get a fight if nobody else is booked either? What are we doing, guys? So hopefully that means that everybody's about to get fights. That hopefully means that everybody at the UFC is hard at work and they're matching people up, and there's going to be 50 fight announcements over the next couple weeks.
I think there's a lot in the works.
I'm hopeful. So you got to say everyone's name wrong if you want to channel your energy. That's true. I gotta mix up some syllables here, but yeah, I'm hopeful that everybody will have fight news soon, including myself. I would love that too. For me, would love that journey. But I was kind of getting through the UFC 318 prelims is what I was doing, kind of in between Cam and Pantoja. And we didn't get to talk about it on Sunday. So I definitely want your take. Like, let's not even get into the prelims yet, but let's just break down the moment of the weekend, which we all know was Dustin Poirier. Had this huge moment, the ultimate UFC send-off. I think, like, it was really beautiful. The montages, the video messages from his family. I was tearing up. Even if you were a grown man, you should have shed a tear for Dustin Poirier's retirement. Just your overall impression of the weekend and Dustin Poirier's last dance.
I think it's more deserved than anybody else. You know, his quote, paid in full. It has 100%. He puts in so much hard work, time, years, brain cells of like just these wars that he's down to have that have been amazing. Like, every time Dustin is on a card, you know it's gonna be a banger of a fight. You know it's gonna be a great card. So it's just it's like, it is a sad moment to see. I literally, it doesn't matter what fighter it is. The second they take their gloves off, I always get tears in my eyes because I can only imagine that moment for myself and that changing of that. You're not going to be a professional athlete anymore. And that has just been so much a huge part of your identity for the last 20 plus years. And it's like, I can't imagine what that moment is to go through, but it was such a beautiful moment for Dustin. And this kind of send off, he deserved more than anybody else.
No, I absolutely agree. And I haven't heard anybody disagree, which is very rare within the MMA community. Like, does Dustin even have haters? I'm sure they're out there somewhere, but they've got to be the craziest people on planet Earth. Like, he's a great husband, great father. I saw somewhere that he has donated over $1 million to charities, and his net worth is less than $6 million. So the dude has literally donated 1/6 of what he is worth to help other people. Like, how do you not love that guy?
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm like, it was, and I want to say props to Max too for how he handled it. Just like took a second to be like, all right, I won. Now this is Dustin's moment. I was like, another absolutely great guy. Seems like a great dad, great husband, everything as a whole. I'm like, both of them just complete class acts as human beings and as athletes.
No, 100%. Oh my God. When the day comes that Max Holloway retires, that's going to be so sad too. Like my like saddest moments of watching people retire, I think, were Korean Zombie and Dustin Poirier. And I think Max is going to be right up there too.
I feel like the Korean Zombie one was just absolutely iconic. Whenever they played the song in the background and the whole crowd started singing it, like there's few moments that match that retirement as well. I'm like, just to channel my inner Dave now though, and throw a question at you on the spot that you're not prepared for. Who else do you think deserves that kind of retirement treatment?
It has to be somebody that just like withstands the test of time. Like I saw a lot of people get upset about like Dominic Cruz not getting a proper send off, and I'll agree that he didn't get a proper send off. Like, it was kind of weird that he got more or he got less than like Anthony Smith, but I don't think that Dominic Cruz deserves. I don't want to say deserves, because I love Dominic Cruz. I'm a big fan of him, but I don't know that he reached, even though he was a champion, I don't know that he reached that level of like just immortalization in the MMA community that guys like Max and Dustin have. I feel like absolutely Max Holloway deserves that kind of retirement. Izzy is a good example of that. I feel like, but it's so weird too, because I feel like he's lost so much attention. Like, people just don't pay attention to Izzy anymore. And it's kind of sad. I feel like the same thing kind of happened to like Usman, where Usman just got like written off as soon as he lost the belt, even though he was so dominant for so long. I feel like we see that happen to so many great fighters. And in the moment, we think like, oh, these guys are going to withstand the test of time. And then they just don't. I think it takes such a special fighter to, even when Dustin has lost, it's never devalued his legacy. Mm-hmm. Even when Max Holloway lost 3 fights in a trilogy, it never devalued his legacy. There's so few fighters that I think can accomplish that. And they have to be very special people as well as very special fighters. And to be honest, I can't even think of, other than Max Holloway, of this generation of fighters, I can't think of anybody off the top of my head that I think right now is going to be in that position, even after they've lost several fights. I think Jim Miller deserves a really solid send-off.
Mm-hmm. No, I would agree with that. But I don't know if he would deserve the same. Yeah, not that level, like where it's in his hometown. Like the event was completely centered around Poirier. Like that's a huge. I don't know if I've ever seen that before in the UFC, where like for someone's retirement fight, they did everything for, like I said, in his hometown. Like the event was for him.
Yeah. This is true. Like, I do think Dominic Cruz would have had a better send-off had he been able to fight. I 100% agree. And I do think they were trying to do that for him for that retirement fight. But I honestly don't know if it would have been, like you said, quite as built out as Poirier's was. And I fully expect them, if they do not do a pay-per-view in Honolulu, Hawaii, for Max Holloway, I will be disappointed, because that's absolutely what they should do. And somebody brought up Pereira in the comment section. If he stays a really long time, sure. But I think the issue is Pereira came to the UFC pretty late because he had such a long kickboxing career. Like, he's not a spring chicken. I think the reason why we have such an attachment to this generation of fighters with Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier was in the WEC. We've been watching him fight since he was a kid, practically. Max Holloway, the same. Like, he got into the UFC so young. These guys have given decades to this sport. And it's so different, because now people don't fight as long now. They didn't get in as early then, as they did then. And so I think we may lose this. We may not have a fighter that reaches this kind of immortalization for a while, to be honest.
You don't think, obviously this will be in a while, but you don't think someone like a Joshua Van would develop that kind of?
Yeah, absolutely has the potential to like really have, because he's had these wars already. He's only 23 years old, so I expect him to have a very long career. But I think that's almost a rarity now for somebody to get in that young and to be ready, because we do see a lot of fighters that get in very young and maybe win one, lose one, and then they kind of like get their footing, and they don't get that same, I think the word Ella's looking for is less boring fighter. It's not an issue. Okay, maybe it is an issue of fighting style. Maybe it is. Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway are two of the most exciting fighters ever. Like you said, anytime Dustin Poirier is in the cage, you're going to see a show. And the same is true for Max Holloway. Charles Oliveira is one that could be in that conversation. He's been around a really long time. I think it would depend how the tail end of his career went.
I think it's more than just how they perform, though. I think it's all around how they're loved. They're just fan favorites. And I think that's a huge part of it, is why Poirier deserved it so much, or a Max Holloway, or even why I could put Charles in that boat, is they're all really just fan favorites.
And just great people. And like, I agree, like the reason, if we're talking about the best fighters of all time, Conor McGregor and Jon Jones and the biggest superstars, they should be in the conversation, but they're not. Like, they're just such controversial figures. I feel like it's just so different,
Well, and Conor's retired 7 times, and Jon Jones retired for 2 weeks, then came out of retirement. So can we take them seriously?
We're tired of it. We're in Jones McGregor fatigue. That's like the phrase now. Everybody's like fatigue. We're just over it, as the fan base. And like the fact that the fan base put together a very large petition to strip the greatest MMA fighter of all time of his belt shows just how tired of it all the fans are. I think Amanda got a pretty awesome send-off, right? It wasn't Dustin Poirier level, but they did do like a lot for her. I feel like in that moment, they did like a really cool video and stuff like that. And they did some. Did she get a Hall of Fame induction?
She did, but it wasn't in that moment. It was at a later date.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'm combining those two moments in my brain. But I know they did like a pretty big thing for, maybe it was at the Hall of Fame induction when they did that. But I know they did do something for her. And yeah, if she came back, won her belt back, I do think that's a crazy moment. It's not going to happen. But
I'm just like, how many times do you deserve the retirement thing? Though, because like I just said with the Connor and John, Amanda's on a pedestal to me more than any fighter in the world. But I'm like, she's already had her moment in her retirement. I get it, she's coming back out, but we don't need to do it more than once, I don't think.
I think that's fair. Yeah. And I also think it has to do with the division. Women's bantamweight is not the deepest division. It never was. Women's 145 couldn't even have rankings because they had so few fighters. And so it's like, I think it also has to do with the divisions Max Holloway and the people that Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway fought. If you look at just the lineup of Dustin's career, it's
both of their resumes.
Both of them. Yeah. Max Holloway's debut was against Dustin Poirier in the UFC. Like, they both just the resume is outstanding. And they, like you said, like they're just good all around people. CM Punk deserved a grand retirement.
Gotta throw what is it? Forgetting his name now. The guy that CM Punk beat, Mike something. I'm completely blanking, but we got to throw him in there too.
Exactly. Yeah, the tall, like black dude. What's his name?
That has one win by eye poke.
Oh my gosh. Or no, he beat CM Punk. They brought him in to lose to CM Punk, and that didn't even work out. Maybe Robert Whittaker in Australia. I could, if they did like a big Aussie card
or Volk in Australia, I could see that one.
Volk deserves a great send off when he reaches that point. Yeah, Mike Johnson. Thank you.
Johnson, yeah.
That guy deserves a great send off. Volk obviously does, and I think he'll get that moment. And I expect him to keep fighting for a while. And I feel like when he's ready to retire, especially if he still has the belt, like that's going to be pretty iconic too. You know, like lost the belt, won it back, defended it several times before and after, if he manages to do that. And then to top it off, like all the epic fights with Max Holloway.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Volk deserves that 100%. That might be, other than Max and Volk, might be my only, like, maybe Whittaker might be my only. But I feel like I love Whittaker. I'm a huge Robert Whittaker fan. I just don't know, is he as big and beloved as Dustin and Max?
He's not in that same boat as them for me.
I don't know that he is. It takes a really special fighter and a really special human being. So I was really sad to see him retire, but I know like you can just tell like it's time for him. He wants to be home with his daughter, and there's nothing more.
The best that ever belt.
Yeah, like, oh, that was so cute. The BD.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, it's just heartwarming, you know. And Valentina, yeah.
Yeah,
She's really fighters, guys, but it's different. We're not talking about fighters.
Yeah, she's just not a fan favorite the way that those boys are.
Like we're talking about every time you tune, like anytime this person's on a card, you're like, I cannot wait to see this fight. Like, when was the last time we said that about a Valentina fight?
I'm like, on the women's side, the girl, she's already retired, but what sticks out to me, I'm like, Joanna would deserve something like that.
No, Joanna, and I feel like Joanna had a pretty solid send-off too. And she had her Hall of Fame induction and whatnot. Like, but yeah, that's different. Like, I feel like different styles, you know? Maybe it is an issue of fighting style. Maybe that's what it is. I feel like it's we saw Joanna. She always came out, had these amazing fights with Jessica Andrade. I feel like their was it their first or second fight? I think it's their second fight. It's one of my favorite fights to watch. There's a point where Jessica Andrade throws a low kick. Joanna literally jumps over it, and while she's still, both feet are still in the air, kicks Jessica Andrade in the face. And I'm like, that was the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like, she had this aura about her, you know? And she's a fantastic human being too. So I feel like, yeah, maybe she's in that conversation, but it's rare. It's so rare. So, but we've spent way too long talking about this. It's been like 15 minutes we've been on this subject. We should definitely go back to UFC 318. We talked about Dustin. We talked about the moment. To be honest with you, main card, it delivered. It delivered, but these prelims were just killer.
Early prelims.
Oh my God.
I think it was like 5 or 6 in a row, all finishes, like fast fights. Carly Judice started off the card looking absolutely phenomenal.
I'm so impressed with her range control. Like,
Oh, yeah.
and the sharpness in her striking.
Oh, yeah, and you could see that Cavallari was trying to close the distance a lot, very fast on her. And she was just able to keep her at a range, handle her takedowns. And I feel like that was a good approach for someone like Judice. Try to like make it ugly, close the distance, you know, try to get that fight so it's not at her range. But Carly was ready for everything. And like you said, just keeps her at the end of her punches just perfectly every time.
She's just so sharp. Like, so sharp with everything. And I feel like that's what makes it crispy, right? But with that, like, I love that the style that has kind of come out of Lafayette, Louisiana. You know, we love Dustin Poirier. We love how he fights, and I feel like she also has this sort of reckless abandon for the way she fights, and it got her in trouble in her first 2 UFC fights. She took a couple close losses, and I feel like she just seemed so much more calculated. Like, she's finding her flow, and she only has 6 professional fights now. So she's finding her flow, and she's really starting to be a lot sharper with it. And I really enjoy watching her. But go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say she's become between her last fight and this one, I guess is when I really started to notice her. And obviously she doesn't have a lot of fights in general, but I'm like, she really is something special. And I feel like we're gonna see her come up quick in the 125 division.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I'm really excited to see who they give her next. Do you have a matchup for her in mind?
I don't know. I think she might deserve somebody maybe like ranked, but not like 15, you know? Like she's coming off of 2 knockouts now. I wouldn't mind seeing her. I'm not sure how the divisions are lined up, but I'm like somebody who's like between 10 and 15, lower on the rankings.
Right. Well, I would if my thing decided to pull up, but I keep seeing this take. I didn't think Dustin versus Max was fight of the night.
I didn't think Vettori versus Allen was fight of the night.
I didn't think so either. I thought it should have been D-Rod and Kevin Holland.
I think everybody was in that boat. That D-Rod and Kevin Holland was easily the most exciting fight. Dustin and Max, I would have given second most. You know, I think they're next.
That second round was the best round of the card. I will say that.
And then I'm like, how did Vettori and Allen end up getting it?
It was definitely Vettori's just like willingness to swing and just not give a darn. Like, I can understand that. But oh yeah, this fight was good too. Francisco Prado's fight was a really good fight too. But it's, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I would have given it to Dustin and Max over Brendan and Marvin, but not. I think Kevin Holland and D-Rod got screwed here. I think that was the most exciting fight personally.
Oh yeah, just an absolute war from start to finish from both guys.
Yeah, and it was just chaotic.
Like, yeah, exactly. And you could tell in like the end of the 3rd round, they were both so gassed, but just kept on moving. Like it was like slow paced almost, but I'm like, they were still scrambling when they had absolutely nothing left in them.
Right. No, it was crazy. And honestly, I enjoy those fights. Like, it's like I'm tired just watching it sitting on my couch. So I know you guys are tired, but okay, I think it's finally working. Maybe I can pull up the flyweight rankings. No, I cannot, because I somehow have no signal. But our stream is working. I don't know how that works. But anywho, yeah, let's continue down the card. So I'm super pumped about Ryan Spann at heavyweight. I'm never pumped about heavyweight. You know this. That it never happens for me. But I feel like Ryan Spann is what the heavyweight division needs. Like, there are not a lot of good grapplers at heavyweight, and I feel like just this is a great place for him to be. 205, he's kind of been up and down, but if he can take everybody down at heavyweight, he might be the man to beat Tom Aspinall. I'm not looking at a win over Lucas Brescu, I think is like 9-7 overall, and going, Ryan Spann's the guy. But I am definitely excited to see him at heavyweight, where I feel like big guys that are long and have great grappling tend to do really well.
Oh yeah, no, I think we've seen it a lot from Walter Walker, his last couple fights. I'm like, he's made it almost look effortless when he's taking these guys to ground. Again, Ryan Spann, I feel like there's a reason why Derek Lewis just gets up in his fights. It's because typically heavyweights aren't great at just controlling people on the ground.
I don't think he can physically. Like, how do you throw hooks on somebody that's that wide? Unless you have crazy long legs.
I feel like a lot of them just rely on strength and power. I always said it for me. I'm like, it was such a benefit for me when I was growing up learning jiu-jitsu, because I was like walking 115 pounds and I didn't have the option to muscle anybody ever, because I was getting smashed by everybody unless I used proper technique. So I'm like, it forces you to use proper technique when you're a tiny person. But when you're 260 pounds walking in there, you don't necessarily ever really have to learn technique. And it becomes a deficit to a lot of these guys, I feel like, because they're just like, oh, I'm just going to get up and power my way out of this. But when you do see somebody who is more capable in grappling, more able to, or like Ryan Spann looked this weekend, I'm like, whenever you are able to control on the ground more as a heavyweight, then you can see guys don't just get up. And like, it doesn't happen like that just because I'm like, I just feel like it is such a huge deficit of the heavyweight division.
100%. And I get it. I think wrestling, when you're that big, is really hard. It's super hard. And these guys are huge. And like, if you get sprawled on by somebody that's 250, 260, I imagine that would suck a lot, even if you are also 250, 260. But Ryan Spann versus, you brought up Walter, like, that's the fight to make right now. That's what I want to see. I want to see that grappling exchange. And hey, Yasser, you make a good point. I agree. Ryan Spann does not have the best cardio. So we got to see if they can match him up. If he can sub people in the first round, it won't matter so much. I could absolutely see him getting, like, against a guy like Walter. Maybe he can't get him out of there early. Maybe we see him slow down. But Derek Lewis should get a special sending off. Okay. I'm down. I'm on board for that.
That would be the most unique send off.
Do you think he just takes his pants all the way off? Like, well, I'm never coming back here, so I could definitely see him doing something like that.
I don't know. Even like when, like, his last fight, he mooned the crowd. Everybody cheers about it and loves it. And I'm like, why are we getting so excited over seeing this man's butt?
No one else can get away with that either.
Exactly.
Like, a single other fighter could do that and not get fined or fired, or at least in really big trouble. But Derek Lewis I don't know. It works for him. It works. The dude's nuts. Spann, honestly, he looks a little softer at heavyweight, but he still looks big enough. You know, he definitely doesn't look small for heavyweight. I will say that. So I want them to give him Walter, who, by the way, should be ranked. You know, that dude is like 3-0 in the UFC and is unranked. And Rizvan Kuniev is 0-1 in the UFC and is ranked 15. Make that make sense to me. What is going on in the heavyweight division?
Well, just in general, I'll never understand the rankings, period. So I'm not going to make comments on that.
But maybe we can get maybe Walter's poor self can get ranked if he beats Ryan Spann. Who knows? But Spann versus Volkov, that's a little bit of a jump. Maybe down the road. But I definitely think him and Walker is the fight to make right now. That's what I want to see next. But I was happy to see Jimmy Crute back. I really like him. I always was a fan of his. I always felt like he kind of got, like, I thought he had some really good momentum going, and then he got hurt in the Anthony Smith fight, which, by the way, still took Anthony Smith down on like literally one leg like 3 times, even with his like nerve totally shut off in his ankle. So I was always a fan of Jimmy Crute. I feel like I like his style. You know, I love the grapplers. So no complaints here on that. But I'm excited to see him back. I feel like he kind of halfway retired too, and he's still young in his career and still really talented. So and Prochnio, I feel like he's not a scrub. So it was a great win for him, and I'm interested to see who they give him next at 205 as well.
Oh, yeah, they made a comment that they said that he retired, I think, 2 years ago because he was too obsessed with the sport, is what they said on the broadcast. I'm like, how does this happen?
Yeah, I don't really understand that. I'm sure he had something personal going on with that, but I'm happy to see him back. I really like him. Why can I not pull up these rankings? I'm just gonna do it on my phone. I just want to know who was ranked at light heavyweight. It shouldn't be that hard.
We had the 2 other finishes that were on the early prelims. The Bruno Ferreira, which was, I don't know, I feel like a little bit of a weird performance from Jason McVeigh.
Yeah, that's fair. He's an odd. Yes, this is why I like Jimmy Crute. It's because he has an Earth Kingdom tattoo that's my favorite show, is Avatar: The Last Airbender. That definitely contributes to why I like Jimmy Crute. But it's not the only reason. I also like his grappling. But I like him. I actually was really hoping he would win. Our buddy knows him. And when he gets on the mic after he wins, he does a really great Trump impression. And so I was really hoping to, Grant was telling me about it. I was really hoping to hear his post-fight speech, but it unfortunately didn't happen for him. I know he was a short notice replacement. So I like to give those guys some grace till we see them a second time in the UFC. He's definitely got an odd style. I will agree. And like just the choice he made at the end of the fight that resulted in him getting basically fireman carried over and then ending up in the armbar. It was just a weird decision, you know?
Even just right before it, he got leg kicked and kind of like showed that it hurt him. Like made a face, was like I don't know, visually showed that the leg kick affected him. I'm like, we're not supposed to do that, you know? Like
maybe it was a really hard leg kick, but yeah, no, it was a little odd. I will agree.
Yeah. And then I feel like it was right after that leg kick, he just kind of jumped on his back, it seemed like he was just too excited, or maybe the leg kick was damaging and he just wanted to close the distance really fast. And yeah, it just kind of went downhill from there.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. Well, apparently I can look at everything on the UFC side except the rankings, so I'm giving up. We'll go back to the card. But I feel like that was kind of the story of the early prelims. Islam Dulatov is a Contender Series guy. He actually trains here at ATT as well. But he had a great knockout against Adam Fugit. I'm interested to see what they do with him next.
Got a modeling job on Monday, he said.
Bizarre. Yeah, he was like a Versace model or something.
Yeah.
He's tall. He's like a really tall, like gangly dude.
Just very aggressive, very explosive when he's fighting.
Yeah, no, he is. He is. I'm interested to see how they match him up. If they match him up with other strikers, if they do try to match him up with a grappler, and how he does. Because I do think he's primarily a striker. I honestly there's so many guys there. I don't know what he looks like training, to be honest with you. But yeah, super explosive and exciting striker. You know what fight we didn't talk about at all on Sunday that I can't believe we forgot about was Vicinius Oliveira and Kyler Phillips. That fight was unbelievable.
Oh yeah, I think Oliveira is always someone who really impressed me since his first fight in the UFC, because I think no matter how like tired he is, whatever is going on, he's always dangerous. He always has that like one punch knockout left in him at like any point in the fight, and regardless of how he looks, he's just a terrifying person, always carrying that like knockout power.
Yeah, no, and it shows because he turned the tide so quickly in that fight. I thought Kyler Phillips was absolutely smashing him all through round one. And then it just, like, this is honestly a great assessment. Like, it was almost like a switch just flipped in Vicinius Oliveira. He's like, no, I'm not losing this fight. And he just like exploded. And once he hurt Kyler Phillips, like I just don't think Phillips ever really fully recovered from getting hurt there. And I'm shocked he survived the round. Like I was just impressed that Kyler Phillips survived the round. I do think very highly of Phillips too. So I feel like this was for me, I thought Vinicius, I would say his name wrong. It's Vinicius. I feel like he was almost getting a little exposed at the beginning of this fight. And then he just showed that he can hurt you at any point. So
You're doing great channeling the inner Dave there.
Vinicius. No, he would have said something way more off the bat. He would have given him a whole new last name. No, that fight was super exciting. Prado and I'm gonna butcher this guy's name too, Nikolai Veretennikov.
I think you did good there.
Yeah, right. That was an exciting fight too. I would really like to see Francisco. I don't know. I haven't talked to him personally. I've seen him around the gym. Obviously, he's a very nice kid. I would really like to see him go back down to 155. I feel like he's maybe he's an in-betweener. He just doesn't seem quite big enough for 170 to me. And there's a couple times in the fight where he almost got like big brothered. Like there were a couple takedowns where it's like he looked like he was doing the right things to defend. And then he just kind of like, oh, no, I just got outsized a little bit here, you know?
No, I agree with you 100% on that. I'm like, I think that he is a 55er. I don't know if I don't know. I feel like a lot of people don't know what's available to you being a UFC fighter. I'm like, we have a full team of dietitians that we can work with. And I feel like a lot of people really neglect to reach out to them, neglect to utilize all the tools we have. And as a fight, like can claim I have been that fighter myself of I have never known what I was doing cutting weight. I've cut weight in the most unhealthiest ways, and it's all 100% bro science. So you hear from like your training partners, your coach, whatever, just some dumb things that when I'm talking to my nutritionist now, she's like, oh, you're killing yourself when you're doing that. Or, there's so many terrible things that we do as fighters because that's what we've heard over the years. That's what your coach tells you, or like what is law because of bro science, essentially. But in real life, I'm like, a lot of people don't really know how to cut weight. And it's like, maybe he just needs to take a different approach, maybe talk with a professional and because I don't think he's a 170. I think he needs to just dial some things down and see how he would fit back in at 155.
Yeah, I think he'd do really well. I think he's developed his game a lot more. We saw the grappling. The grappling looked great early in that fight last weekend. I feel like he did look really good. So and he's so young and he's so talented. So and he's such a nice kid. So I hope the UFC gives him another chance. He's super exciting. Okay, fine. We will address it because 9 people in the comments have asked about this. Because this is always the Dakota Ditch of a show. Somebody else asked in the comments too, or like just a couple minutes ago. Dakota Ditcheva has announced she's re-signed with the PFL. I think the plan was to have her fight the winner of the tournament at the end of the year. However, she's broken her hand. I don't know what that recovery timeline is going to look like. I hope she's still able to do that. I would assume that had to do with why she decided to re-sign with PFL. Your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I guess looking at where the PFL seems to be going or where it's at, I didn't see that as the smartest business move for her. I feel like, especially to solidify herself as a fighter, you need to be in the UFC, especially for females. I'm like, I just think that the competition she's fighting over there isn't the same level what you would find in the UFC. So she just doesn't get that. I don't know. She's never going to really solidify herself and get that respect until she, I feel like, does come to the UFC. And I don't know what the PFL has in store for her. They haven't seemed to be keeping her very active. And I'm like, me personally, I wouldn't be happy with that. But I don't know what they're paying her too. So I'm assuming she's getting a pretty paycheck to re-sign with them for this long.
I would assume so as well. And to be honest, I barely talked to her since her fight. She's doing a movie in Bulgaria. So I don't think I'm going to see her for a while, to be honest. Girl's always jet setting all over the place. So I haven't really got to pick her brain about it yet. I would assume, obviously, hopefully we'll have her on the show soon and she can just tell us all about it. But I would assume, like you said, she's probably getting paid very handsomely to stay with them. And maybe they've promised her X number of fights, or maybe there's a clause in the contract where she can get out if they don't get her a fight within a certain amount of time. That would probably be an intelligent thing to add in there, considering how hard it's been to find her fights in general. She's in Florida. She was in Florida for a day. So she's flying back out ASAP. But yeah, she does live here now. But she, I honestly don't know. I don't know what the plan is. I do think she's got a lot of time. She turns 27 this weekend. So it's not like if she stays with PFL for another season or two, she'll be whopping age of 29. I feel like that's still a good time for her to obviously go over to the UFC, should that be in her plans. So I do think she has lots of time. I definitely am excited to see those matchups for her. So I do hope that happens at some point, but I don't know. I can't speak too much to what her plans are. I haven't even had a chance to talk to her about it, but yeah, we addressed it, guys. We addressed it. It's all good. We talked about Dakota. Obviously, she had a fantastic performance. Broken hand and all. I feel like we see a new facet of her game every time she competes. Like this time we saw like the clinch work just really on display. My face literally hurt watching Samiko just face plant into the cage repeatedly. But you saw that the elbows were beautiful. We always see her range striking. The kicks are always beautiful. The counters are always very well timed and very sharp. I feel like we didn't see her like signature body work so much, other than the knees and the clinch, is where I feel like she shined this time around. And yeah, I give Samiko Inaba a whole lot of credit. That girl's tough as nails. They build them different in Hawaii. 100%.
Oh yeah, you see Max Holloway those last 10 seconds? Like nobody's beaten him in those last 10 seconds ever.
I'm gonna clinch. I'm not playing that game.
No, I'm pulling guard in those last 10 seconds. I don't know what you're talking about. Like Max with that body shot, I would be done.
I don't even know. I literally I've had like a 3-message conversation with her since, so I don't even know what the diagnosis is yet. I just know she hurt her hand, arm, something. But yeah, no, I agree. They build them different in Hawaii. That's why we need a show in Hawaii. Have they ever done that? When was the last time?
I don't think they ever have had I can't remember. There was a reasoning behind it, but yeah, I don't think they've ever had it in Hawaii.
State commission issue or just the travel. It'd be expensive to get everybody to. No, it's not. I guess it would depend how many like Hawaiian fighters they could like fill the card with.
I feel like I don't know how many there are now, but I know that for a couple years there was quite a few in the UFC.
With Brad Tavares, obviously Max. Who else?
Crap. Now I'm
right. I was like, wait, are there?
Oh, Rachel Ostovich was in the UFC. Callan Curran, Maki Patolo, Punahele Soriano. I believe he's Hawaiian too.
Yeah.
So
Ige's Hawaiian, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. So I'm like, I feel like they have a good little stack over there.
Issue. That'd be sick. I want Grant to get on the Hawaii card.
Shit, I'm like, sign me up.
G and I need some sun. I'm getting pasty. You look pretty tan, but I am white. Anywho, okay, guys. We talked about PFL. We talked about UFC 318, kind of. I feel like we missed a few fights, but that's okay. Jillian and I always talk too long every time it's about MMA. You were at Karate Combat just last weekend. How was that?
So Karate Combat had a 2-day event. I went to one of the days. The other day I followed along on Instagram. They had a heavyweight weight tournament the first day. So I believe it's 8 men in the heavyweight, 8 heavyweight men fighting 3 times in one night.
Wow.
And that was, and just the sound of these men, they are very large and right in front of you. It was absolutely amazing. Just like I said, absolute powerhouses. Robelis Despangane went out there, fought to decision his first fight. So got a full fight out there. His second fight went his typical way of finishing it in like 5 seconds. And then his third fight, he went out there for the first round and was trying to finish it every single minute. And then it got called in between rounds by the doctor against Zach Pauga, who's a UFC vet as well.
I just saw this picture of Robelis at the end of the night in the hospital, and he's got casts on both his arms and his leg. And I'm like, what did I miss?
Oh yeah, 3 times in one night. So they each fight was 2 3-minute rounds. Had to think about the right way to say that. So
you say like you can only fight 25 minutes is the max for the state commission, right? Like,
oh, I didn't know that actually, but so yeah, each fight was 2 3-minute rounds, and then if it went to a decision at the end of those, and they felt like they needed a third round, they would do it. So in like Zach Pauga's second fight, he ended up going to a third round, where in Robelis' second fight was finished in 10 seconds. So it must have been a little bit different going into that main event.
No, for sure. Yeah, that helps. The quicker you finish in a tournament like that, the better you're going to feel. But did you guys talk about the freestyle chess championship? There's a lot going on this weekend, okay? PFL's about to have their finals. Yeah, there's a lot going on. We got Abu Dhabi this weekend. I was going to get into that, but honestly, I feel like we've already talked a lot. We talked about PFL. We talked about Karate Combat. I feel like I had something else for you. Oh, yeah, I have one more thing for you. And then I'll let you go because you stayed way longer than you normally would. So we've been debating this. Everybody that's been on here has been debating this. And so far, I think we got 2 different answers from Cam Bennett and Pantoja. So after last weekend, we talked about Dustin a ton. What is next for Max Holloway? Do we want to see these rematches? Do we want to see him fight Arman? I feel like everybody's saying that there's not a real number 1 contender, even though it should be Arman, but he's grounded right now by the UFC because they're mad at him. So we don't think that fight's going to happen for a title shot right away. What's your thoughts on this whole top division?
Maybe the Oliveira one for like a contender fight.
We also, Pantoja brought up Gaethje as well.
The Gaethje one's I feel like you can't not want that. And like, come on, that's just an exciting fight. That's a fan favorite fight right there. So, yeah, definitely exciting for the Gaethje one. And I think that would be a contender fight as well. I don't want to see Topuria yet. I feel like there still needs time before he faces Topuria again. But, yeah, I think a Gaethje or Oliveira would be good.
I would like to see either one of those. I think the fight you make is Arman and Ilya. It's the right thing to do for the division. It's the right thing to do just in general.
And for UFC, do the right thing.
Do the right thing, guys. I know you're mad at him, but it's the fight I want to see. I want to see Ilya fight a guy that can wrestle like that for 25 minutes. I want to see what happens, you know? And so I'm happy watching Max fight just about anybody in this division. I think you have to be strategic with Max because at 145, he kind of became like a bit of a prospect killer, you know, like crushed Calvin Kattar before he could get to the belt, crushed Brian Ortega before he could get to a title shot. Same thing with Arnold Allen. Like, I feel like it's a closer fight, obviously, but like, I feel like he became a bit of a prospect killer there. And I think you could, if you don't handle him correctly at 155, you could run into the same thing.
And I feel like he's really like falling into 155 a little bit better now, where I think at first it took a little bit of like an adjustment for him, where now he's really like coming into his own as a 55er.
Yeah, no, I agree. You could see it the last Dustin fight. Dustin was able to just kind of walk through his punches. and do a lot of damage. He looked like a featherweight, and yeah, I don't think that guy's ever making 145 again. Love to hear that. Dana's, we're both trying to click the comments. You go. Dana's announcing some fights on IG later. I'm happy. I want something at lightweight. Just anything lightweight.
Grant Dawson and Jillian Robertson fight announcements is what's coming.
About right now. That's what we want to hear. Insider info. Yeah, we don't have any insider info. I wish.
They don't tell me anything.
I know. Gamrot doesn't have a fight. I don't think Moicano has a fight. Like, none of these lightweights have fights. So I just want to see somebody get matched up in the top 15 at lightweight. That's what I want to see. So
or in strawweight. Strawweight works too. You know?
We want Jillian to have fights too. Sorry, you don't pay my bills, Jillian. So, but I'll let you. We'll wrap up. I'll let you go and have Grant come in here to do Banana Blitz. But
like Banana's Employee of the Month, Grant Dawson.
Dude, just killing it.
Stepping up.
He doesn't even get paid. We just stick him in here. Just use him. He's paying my bills too. Yeah. By the way, Max definitely has to be on the White House card. That has to happen. Absolutely. Do you know your fight before Dana announces them? Yes. Yeah. Because you have to. Well, depends. Depends if they actually let you accept the fight first. I've heard that has happened a few times. You heard from a bird that Dawson and BSD are fighting in Paris. I would love to hear that too, but I don't think that bird is correct, or we probably would have heard something too. Apparently, somebody's heard that you're fighting Benoit in Paris. Apparently. Yeah, we have. That's news to us. So, anywho, do you want to stick around for Banana Blitz, or you want to chat?
I gotta get going.
Yeah. Real quick before you go. Have you ever considered dyeing your hair a different color? I'm dead serious.
This is natural. What are you talking about?
I'm going somewhere with this.
No, I haven't. No.
So there are poisonous dart frogs that basically God made them super bright colors to warn other creatures that they are dangerous. Do not F with these creatures. And I think you're on the right track. I think you're
exactly.
Dangerous fighters dye their hair like tree frogs. So
no, I saw something that is actually like a warning symbol in the animal kingdom. So that's why like black widows have it. A lot of snakes have it. So right. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Just
you came like black widows, poisonous tree frogs for us. It's really good fighters and overweight feminists.
On that note,
Jillian's like, and I'm out.
You ain't getting me canceled too.
All right, I'll see you Sunday.
Thank you so much. We'll see you later. All right, guys. Okay, we're gonna do a super speed round of Banana Blitz. You want to pull up the card?
Yeah.
That'll probably run over, but that's okay. Thank you guys for hanging out. I know I don't host as smoothly as Dave, but I do my best.
You're a lot prettier.
That is true. But we're gonna hit this UFC Abu Dhabi card with Banana Blitz. Give me a second to get the Banana Blitz questions ready. Okay, you got it pulled up. Yep. All right, the most hyped fight on the card.
I mean, oh wow, Bryce is a favorite. That's crazy. The most hyped fight, it's probably Whitaker and RDR because it's like the winner gets a title. Like if RDR wins, he gets a title shot. I think Whitaker, but if RDR wins, he gets a title shot. And we're gonna be able to see how good is RDR. Did he just get lucky with Bo Nickel? Is he as good as people are saying he is? And tell me that RDR versus DDP would not be the craziest and least technical fight ever.
No, that would be the most Looney Tunes fight of all time.
Right.
I want to see that. And I agree. I think RDR has a lot of hype behind him, beating a prospect like Bo the way he did. So I'm with you. I think that's the most hype fight. What is the most underrated banger on the card?
Okay, so my underrated banger is going to be Magomedov versus
Marc-Andre Barrel.
Yeah.
That's a great fight.
And you know what's crazy is I don't bet, but if I did bet, I would put a little bit on say his name again.
Marc-Andre Barrial.
That one. Great gas tank.
Yeah, good cardio.
Super good chin, and he can wrestle. And he is not afraid of the fight. He fought a friend of mine, Julian and Marquez, and just the gas tank on this guy. Like, if he does not get knocked out, I think he wins this fight. So that I'm super excited about.
Is he the dog?
He is.
Ooh, he's a big dog. That's gonna
he should be. I get it, but I think there's some good value there.
There's definitely value. My underrated banger is going to be Petr Yan versus Marcus McGee. I think people don't really know Marcus McGee yet, and he is really good, and he's super tough. He has power. He also has a really great gas tank, and Petr Yan is he's the guy.
Yeah.
There's never a Petr Yan fight that's boring.
Never.
There's never a Petr Yan performance where he doesn't show up and look super clean. You know he's going to have the cardio, and you know he's going to be in the fight.
And the thing too is, like, people are upset about this fight, and you have to remember that everybody's a nobody till they fight a somebody, right? Marcus McGee is ranked above me. Like, not that we're in the same weight class, but he's ranked higher than I am. And if you saw me versus, let's say, Justin Gaethje, I think a lot of people would be saying the same thing. But that's how this goes. You know, TJ Dillashaw was not, I think he was like number 12 or 13 when he fought for the bantamweight title against Renan Barão. Everybody said he didn't stand a chance, plus, 1,000 underdog. And then we're like, oh my God. And we didn't know TJ Dillashaw was TJ Dillashaw.
Right.
I'm not saying Marcus McGee is going to win this fight. I am saying that this fight, in a way, does make sense.
You deserve to have your shot. Right?
Exactly. And if he loses, he doesn't lose anything.
No.
You know, even if he gets starched, if he gets knocked out in the first round, I don't think it's bad for him. I think he does nothing but go up in this fight.
Yeah. No, I agree. And okay, guaranteed finish on the card. I'm gonna go. I'm kind of leaning towards the Shara Magomedov Marc-Andre Barrial fight. I feel like one of two things are going to happen. Marc-Andre Barrial gets clipped by Shara because he's wild and dangerous, or Shara gets gassed because he doesn't clip Marc-Andre Barrial and gets finished maybe later in the fight.
Yeah,
I'm kind of leaning towards that as a solid finish.
I'm going to go with the main event. I just think both guys are too crazy. Like, we're seeing Whitaker's incredible chin be tested, and just the way that RDR fights, somebody's getting clipped, somebody's going down, somebody's going to hit the dirt. So I'm picking, and in 5 rounds, neither guy gets tired. Both guys swing with everything they got. I'm going to go with the main event. There's a guaranteed finish. I just don't know who it is.
Yeah, no, that's fair. For the fight that will go the distance, I'm going to take Asu Almabayev and Ramazan Tamirov. I think they're both really tough. Flyweights don't have as much finishing ability as is, just because they lack the power. But I definitely expect that to. I think both guys are very well rounded. I think there'll be a lot of stalemates in the wrestling and department, especially. So I do expect this. Yeah. By the way, Buchecha, our teammate, finally signed to the UFC. Super pumped for that. Very excited to see him.
This is go the distance, right?
Yeah.
My go the distance fight is Bryce Mitchell versus Nurmagomedov. I feel like both guys, heavy grapplers. I would give the striking advantage to Saeed. I would give the grappling advantage to Bryce. I do think that fight is going to go the distance, though.
Who is your lock of the card? You can go into the prelims too.
Yeah, the prelims are kind of boring. My lock, I kind of don't want to say who my lock is, just because I talked about the other guy 10 seconds ago.
Wait, hang on. Ooh, I feel like Damon Blackshear is a solid pick. I feel like he's been on. I feel like the trajectories of Damon Blackshear and David Grant are switching. I don't know if he's a lock, though, to be honest. David,
I just drove 6 hours. We're home, but I've been watching you guys, especially you, El, for 2 straight hours. You killed it. Just want to say you're the best ever. Best job. Greatest job. It was a great show. Loved it. We kept the whole car busy.
It was good. Apparently, I got my facts wrong here at the end. Wow, you got a lot of unloading to do.
Yeah, we literally just pulled in.
The best game of Tetris I've ever seen in the back of that car.
I like how
Susie's the best at it, the absolute best packer in the world. But just want to say, great show. Grant, you look awesome, dude. You look sun-kissed. You look good, dude.
God is good, you know.
Maybe a big fight announcement on the way?
Me?
I don't know, maybe.
I'm retired. I'm retired. You want to know what's crazy is I have no fight in sight. I haven't trained in 10 days because of a lingering pain. And I stepped on the scale. I was 179. Like, I usually don't see 179 till fight week. So
Dang.
I don't know what's going on.
Wow.
Drugs are good. No.
All right. Hey, start eating lettuce. Later, buddy. Later, Al. Killed it today.
Bye, Dave. I don't know if I have a lock, to be completely honest. I didn't know this, though. I missed this. Apparently, Tamirov is out.
Who's Tamirov?
Was supposed to be fighting Aswell Mabayev. It's not even on the UFC's site yet. So, Ochoa, well, I feel like that might change my will go the distance fight then. I don't know. We'll see.
I just like how Dave didn't hop on the entire time you were on, but as soon as I got on,
he had to come talk to you.
Come say hi.
I didn't realize he was frozen there.
Yeah, I don't have a lock for this one. I don't have a lock for this one.
I don't know if I do either. I think Damon is a good pick, but I don't know that he's a lock, to be completely honest. For an underdog pick, I'm really liking Marc-Andre Barrios just for the value of plus 450. I feel like Shara Bullet, like, I do expect him to slow down in this fight. And if he doesn't get an early finish, I could see there being the line shifting very heavily to Marc-Andre. So I feel like get him at plus 450. That's pretty solid.
Yeah, my underdog is going to be Nurmagomedov, Saeed. Everybody always thinks I have a problem with Bryce Mitchell. I have no issue with Bryce Mitchell. I think his job's on the line. I think he's going down a weight class. And how many times do we see, Russian fighters lose in where they
Abu Dhabi?
Yeah.
No, that's fair. He has
been
out grappled before.
By who?
Hayoni Barcelos.
Good fighter.
Very good fighter.
Very, very
honestly,
good fighter.
I can't really think.
I don't know. I could definitely see Bryce Mitchell winning this just with the weight cut and with everything going on. And it's always so hard for me to bet on a guy who's training out of his garage. Like that. That's just, how do you find somebody in your garage to emulate Nurmagomedov? He doesn't have to make the travel. He doesn't have to readjust to the sleep schedule. And he has got 57 Bryce Mitchells in his gym that are probably as good, if not better. Maybe not as good jiu-jitsu, but definitely better wrestling. So I'm saying Saeed is a good underdog there.
Underdog. All right. The biggest superstar on the card is definitely Robert Whittaker at this point in time.
Piotr Jan is the biggest superstar.
So?
Piotr Jan, could you see Piotr Jan winning a belt again?
Yes.
Could you see Robert Whittaker winning a belt again?
No, but if we're talking about fame, I think more people know who Robert Whittaker is.
I don't think so, man. I think everybody loves
Maybe not in Abu Dhabi.
I'm talking about just around the world. I think everybody loves Robert Whittaker for sure, but Piotr Jan is a man of few words and many punches. I think
that is true.
I think
that is true.
And I'm such a fan. I'm such a fan of Piotr Jan. So he's my guy. I've seen him twice. Did not have the balls to talk to him.
Really? He's really nice. I talked to him and you didn't.
Can the chat please help explain to my wife that every single male is going to be much nicer to this than to this? So yeah, she just walks around thinking everybody's so sweet.
So nice.
Really? He's so nice.
He was really nice.
He was very complimentary of me.
Well, we were physical therapy buddies for like 3 months. So anyway, I like Piotr. He's a very nice guy. He is very scary looking though.
Yeah.
I will agree. But also got that tiger-like roar. Dude, he's a gangster. Like you gotta love watching him fight. A prospect to watch on the card.
It's Marcus McGee.
I agree.
It's 100%. It's Marcus McGee. If he wins this fight by split decision that everybody thought he lost, he gets a title shot.
Yeah.
This is the guy to watch,
And I think even if he loses decisively, but has a great like it's a great fight.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like it just makes his value go up so much.
Right. And he's got very few fights, and to be able to find himself in this position is huge for him. Like, he's got the most to gain, the least to lose. He's the guy to watch. And like I said, if he loses, his stock goes up.
No, I agree. And I think that answers our next Banana Blitz question, which is who has the most to gain. I think it's 100% Marcus McGee.
100%.
RDR is a close second, but I feel like Marcus McGee, like you said, he gets a title shot. Like they need contenders for Merab to fight right now.
Yeah.
I think that's absolutely it. The last one is the most to lose. And personally, I think this is Petr Yan here. I think if Robert Whittaker loses this main event, I don't think anything really changes for him.
Right.
I don't think winning this fight gets him a title shot.
Right.
I don't think losing this fight takes him out of
the picture
for being at the top of the rankings.
Yeah.
However, if Petr Yan loses to somebody this far behind him in the rankings, he loses a shot at the title probably forever. And I think it takes his stock down quite a bit.
The only person that I would say might have a little bit more to lose is Bryce Mitchell, because I don't know this, but I think he's on thin ice with the UFC. And if he loses this fight after all the controversy, you guys know what I'm talking about. And then, they punished him. They punished him for that. And it was against Gene Silva. If he goes down a weight class and tries to revamp his career, and let's say he gets caught in a guillotine in the first minute of this, I don't think we see Bryce Mitchell fight in the UFC again.
That's fair. I could see that. I will say, I think either way, I think Bryce Mitchell's towards the end of his UFC career, whether he wins this fight or not, to be honest. I could see, I don't think he draws the same crowd he used to. Yeah. And I think he's going to get a lot of tough matchups.
Yeah. I think he's drawing the wrong crowd now.
That's fair.
If you're a Bryce Mitchell fan, people kind of look at you like, how do you feel about the Jews? So
anywho, Grant, would you change weight classes if it meant you could fight more frequently?
No.
That's a pretty big jump to 170 from 155.
I'm not going to 170. It's not a weight issue. It's a height issue. I can't change. I can change what I weigh. I can't change how tall I am.
Those guys are tall.
Those guys are tall. Bro, you saw, okay, so I have a buddy of mine. Yeah.
70, right?
I have a buddy of mine who fought at 55, Francisco, and he moved up to 70. And he looks like a bull, and he's a thick dude. He's thicker than I am, but he is not a 70-pounder. And he just looks like a boy fighting men. And it's like he makes some bad decisions, but a lot of it is he just gets big brothered at that weight class. The height is such a big game changer. There are people at 170 I think I could beat, but I'm not making a title run at 170.
It's so stacked right now.
It's so stacked, and it's not. No, I'm staying at 55. I can't make 45 anymore. I really wish I could, but I can't. So,
yeah. How about 145? That was to answer that question. Yeah, I don't think that's happening for you. Guys, I have pictures of Grant at 23 years old when we first met, and he doesn't even look like the same human being. He was so much smaller.
You can say it. I was skinny.
You were so skinny.
Yeah,
he was so
like
much skinnier than you kind of did look like.
I look like Nate Diaz when he got on the scale.
No,
skinny fat.
His body's changed so much in that amount of time. Like it's not happening. It's being weird. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We went 2 full hours. If you guys missed any of the interviews earlier in the show, please go back and check them out. We had Cam Bennett on at 110. He was awesome. He is fighting this weekend at Island Fights. It's his 3rd professional fight, trying to go 3-0. He's fighting Charles Bennett, the notorious one himself. So definitely go check that out. Island Fights puts on an amazing show. So check them out. I believe they're on YouTube for their stream. You definitely, one of the best in regional MMA. So definitely go check them out. Then we had Pantoja on. Huge shout out to Pantoja. Thank you so much for giving us so much of your time. We chatted about the Joshua Van matchup, the win over Kai Kara France. Definitely go back and watch that as well. And then obviously we had Jillian the Savage Robertson joining us. breaking down UFC 318 and all those awesome prelims. So thank you so much, guys. And I guess thanks, Grant, too, who's now a permanent
Fight Bananas
fixture.
Employee of the Month.
He's Fight Bananas Employee of the Month, for sure. So we love you guys. We appreciate you. If you're not subbed to the YouTube yet, make sure you sub the YouTube. DM us, show us you subbed, and we will send you a free UFC trading card. Sub the YouTube. All right, guys. We will see you later. I don't know when, but later.